वन मोर एपिसोड ऑफ धन की बात. तू रोल कर रहा है. Yeah, welcome to one more episode of Dhan Ki Baat, and today we have one of the brightest mind in the country today. Today we have a very unique talent, and we are going to learn a lot. And she is a business consultant. She has a very unique mindset approach. She is a very pampered child, and that also makes her super independent and determined. Leadership has been her passion through life, starting from the age of 6 when she saw that movie Lion King. She has spoken at multiple international platforms over the last couple of years and done international collaborations as well. She believes every adversity can be turned into opportunities. You only need to right mindset. She is a certified NLP practitioner, which is, for some of them may not be knowing, NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's a modality used for your business growth. And the beauty is that she learned it directly from the master and co-creator himself, Dr. Richard Bandler, the father of NLP. And she believes that this is what makes her have a 100% success rate with her client. She gets her motivation from client success and would like to touch the world one successful entrepreneur at a time. And she is one and only one, Sirisha Ravuri. So welcome,
Hi.
Sirisha, to
Thank you.
on Dhan Ki Baat. And today we are going to ask you this very interesting topic, and I want you to help entrepreneurs, because I see India has got our Prime Minister said that we have entered into golden decade. And in Hindi he says कि हम लोग अमृत काल में enter कर चुके हैं. So this decade would be of India.
Yes.
And I believe SMEs are the backbone of country. 10 crore people are SMEs, and you are dealing with SMEs. So I'll be asking you certain questions, and maybe we can take it from there.
Sure.
So Sirisha, if I have to ask you, since you have been coaching entrepreneurs and startups, and so what are the kind of most common challenges people face during their to scale their business, to take their business to next level? What do you think?
Okay, so the challenges that I would say they come in many different forms. The biggest challenge is that they don't really have a growth mindset, if you
Okay.
look at it.
Okay.
Okay, business owners look at business even now in India as dhanda. Okay, they go to their, whether it's their store, whether it's their office, whether it is a professional who is in business, they go to their place of work. For them, it's all about the short term. I will go, I will see what my revenue is today, what are the kind of clients I'm getting today, this week, maybe for this month.
Yeah.
And then they focus just on that. They don't go beyond that. Okay.
So like जैसे गले में अगर मैंने एक दुकान डाली है तो मुझे सिर्फ शाम में कितना गले में पैसा
हाँ.
आता है, बस वही है.
बस वही है. शाम को have I made more than I made yesterday? हाँ, I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if you're looking at a decade,
Right.
then business owners also need to plan for a decade.
Perfect.
And the moment people start planning for an entire decade, they will start seeing exponential growth.
Yeah.
Right now, people are very happy with 5%, 10%, 12% growth year on year. Whereas I know that Indians as such are brilliant. If you compare Indians with anybody else across the world, some of the brightest minds are Indians. And imagine those bright minds doing business. And with that kind of IQ, with that kind of exposure, with the kind of knowledge that they have beyond only the kind of work they do, it is very possible for Indians to literally take over the world.
Wow.
And now if you see the way the world economy is doing, India is the fastest growing economy.
Absolutely.
It's doing much better than every other country. With this potential that India has already shown, if the entire SME belt can start planning for future growth, start planning in such a way that they grow, let's say 50% or 100% year on year,
Wow.
then imagine where India can reach.
So what do you think? What are the challenges like they need to address in order to create that kind of growth, the like 50% or 100% or 200%? So what is that they are missing? What do you think?
What they're missing is, number one, they're missing that idea of working on the business
Wow.
rather than just working in the business. So the just conversation that we just had, dhanda, what is there at the end of the day? Instead of just looking at that, getting blown away, carried away by whatever comes during the day, instead of just working on that, doing their sales, marketing, whatever, instead of that, if they can start planning for the future by working on the business, what is my purpose, what is my vision, really, instead of just taking it from the internet and pasting it on their website.
Right.
That is one thing that they can do. So that's the biggest challenge that I think people are facing. Apart from that, another very big challenge that people are facing, business owners are facing, is finding the right people.
Finding the right.
Whether it is at a partner level, a lot of young entrepreneurs are looking for partners. A lot of young entrepreneurs are looking for co-founders. And it's very difficult to find them because the wavelength doesn't match. And more than that, finding young talent that can come into the company and take ownership as much as the business owner is taking. That's another challenge that a lot of business owners are facing these days.
So you rightly said like working in the business and working on the business.
Right.
So when we talk about this, how do you say that what is the value of a coach? Because when you're talking about working in the business, they say my father was doing a business, let's say, and then I also joined him, looking at him like he's a solopreneur or maybe having a small team of 0 to 5 people, and I took that mindset and I've started my business.
Right.
So now I have to scale up because we are a $3 trillion economy, and our Prime Minister said that we would be a $5 trillion economy or a $10 trillion economy by year 2030, 2035. So in order to scale up to that level, so what is the role of a coach or a mentor, the need of a mentor for every SME? Because I feel every business, because when you join business, it doesn't come up with any manual.
It
right?
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So, and you have to pay high price of if you don't perform or you don't scale up. So can you share the importance of coach? Like,
So having a coach is actually the most important thing. It's a non-negotiable, which a lot of businesses don't get. And I'll tell you why it's needed. You know your business. You've studied it. You have gotten certifications in whatever you do. Okay, and you know exactly how your industry works. You probably read the news about it, and you are in the industry. You know what's happening. You know how your competitors working. So nobody is, questioning that. You know it. But what you don't know is how to actually grow a business. So there are different kinds of coaches that come. There are mindset coaches, of course, the kind of coach that I am. There are business coaches that help you with processes. There are financial coaches like you are. There are spiritual coaches. There are wellness coaches. And all of these people are experts in those different fields by themselves. Now, when you're working in the business, you are the expert. Okay, you know what you're doing. But when you have to work on the business, you need an expert who knows how to work on the business. Somebody who has studied that. Somebody who has experience in working on multiple businesses, whether they are from your industry or not. So there are two different kinds of people that you can go for. You can go for a coach or you can go for a mentor. A mentor comes into the picture when you want something more from the industry. Let's say somebody who has done a great job in your industry, has grown a business, maybe a multi-billion dollar business in your industry. They will help you navigate your industry. That is a mentor. And that is again working in the business still. When you need to work on the business, that's when you need a coach. And if you're happy, like I said, with a 10%, 12% growth, then don't go for a coach. You're happy, you will be fine, you will sail through. But are you even beating the inflation? That's the question. But if you want exponential growth, the only way that you can do that is by getting help of somebody who can help you work on the business. And that's a coach.
Perfect. So as you said, like every business has like if you're working in the business, you are an expert, but coach helps you to reduce your time. Like, I mean, because he has spent 20-25 years into various capacities, and he can see your blind spot,
True.
Which you are unable to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, let's say you're wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, and those glasses are yellow in color.
Yeah.
Everything that you look at will be yellow, and when you are working in your business as the business owner, you are wearing colored glasses. You have filters on of different types, and you can't see your own gaps, you can't see where you're going wrong, you cannot see where you can improve, and worst thing of all is you don't even know your own potential.
Exactly.
It is your coach that will show you your potential.
Exactly. So Sirisha, we have seen like every industry is getting disrupted in this current scenario because artificial intelligence and technology coming
Yeah.
up. So what, according to you, what role does technology plays in scaling up in today's time? Like, I mean, in every aspect of every business, like we are going to this. So can you share more about some technology or AI? And every business should keep a business model connecting to AI.
So technology, the rate at which technological growth has been happening, if you see, there is a pre-COVID and a post-COVID technology growth. The moment the pandemic came, the lockdown happened, it's like technology suddenly that was growing like this went up. And business owners have not caught up with that. Technology can be as simple as social media, getting digital, getting a website. I know so many businesses that are not even getting on, getting on the internet on one side. And on the other side, there is crazy technology growth in terms of AI, like you mentioned. And it's not just one kind of business that needs it. I've seen businesses and even professionals of all types, need to start looking at what is the technology in their industry specifically. I'll tell you a story and something that happened recently. So my dad is very interested in technology. The moment something new comes up, he will go check it out. So when ChatGPT just came out, Dad was showing it off. He was telling me, see, I found this new thing, let's try it out and all. And we were trying it out. And just for the heck of it, just to see how much we can push it, we asked ChatGPT to write a poem. It is a creative field, right? And people think that, okay, technology, why do we need technology in a creative field? But people don't realize that it can be used even in a creative field. It wrote a poem that was so beautiful. It almost moved us. And we had just given it one simple topic, write a poem about love. And it wrote this beautiful poem talking about seasons, and there was metaphors thrown in, and there was all these, good descriptions thrown in. And I remember getting very upset about it because I like to write poetry myself. And I was like, how can AI, write something like this? So if an AI can go to that extent of being able to take over creative fields, then imagine regular work that you do in your business. There's going to be a point where everything is going to be technologically driven. And if you don't jump on that train now and enable technology in your business now, there is going to be this one genius kid who has just passed out of college, has decided to enter your industry and is all about technology, and they will overtake all of you. That's what will happen.
So we have spoken about technology, and we have spoken about challenges, we have spoken about the mindset. So what is the key mantra for entrepreneurs? Like, if you can share about your journey, key mantra for entrepreneurs, like in 2 or 3 words, if you can say, if they focus on that particular aspect, and they would be very successful. Like, I mean, 3 words. Like, I mean.
Okay. 3 words that they focus on and they'll be successful. Wow, you put me in a spot here.
Yeah,
Because it's taking something that is, huge. Sometimes I spend a couple of hours trying to explain things and get it down into 3 words.
Yeah.
I would say that if you have to focus just on 3 things, the first and foremost would be get the right mindset.
Right mindset.
Get the right mindset. All right, because at the end of the day, it's all about that. You can be amazing at whatever you do, but if you don't have the right mindset, everything else falls. All right. The second thing that I would say is get the right people. Get the right people that you have a connection with, that you can match your bandwidth with. There are amazing people all over the world, agreed, but for you to be able to work with somebody, they need to think alike, the values need to match, and that's extremely important. And the third thing is make sure that your finances are in order. And I don't mean make a lot of money or keep a lot of money, as a backup, but just be aware of all the finances around you, all the opportunities around you. And it is very nice for people to say that I work because I enjoy it. Ultimately, if your business is not making money, then you're not in business.
Perfect. So very nicely positioned, like right mindset, people and finance. So these are the 3 things which you feel is. Now, if I ask you, what is your success mantra? Like, I mean, what made you successful? If I again put you in that spot of 3 words, so what is that 3
I have
word?
one sentence actually, a success mantra that I follow very often, and I wouldn't say it's a very business advice or something like that, but this is something that I think makes me successful, and that is simple solutions to complex problems.
Simple solutions to complex problems.
Yes, that is what is, as we say, key to success. If I have to just elaborate it a little bit, a lot of times people think that if you see a problem and it is complex, or it could be anything, it could be a business challenge, it could be a personal challenge, whatever, people feel that you need to come up with all these elaborate plans and solutions. But if you can just take a step back and look at it holistically, you will find that a small change, something very simple here and there, can change the whole scenario.
Wow.
And I think that is something that most businesses can help.
Perfect, bang on. So last 2 questions. So what are the common mistakes that businesses make when they try to grow? And how they can avoid it?
They try to do everything. When a business is trying to grow, they are like, ye bhi karunga, wo bhi karunga, this, that. And they feel that the more you do, the more you grow. Okay? But that's not the case, because the more you do, the more you confuse people. And if you start doing that, if you go out there and tell people, okay, I'm expanding. So to expand, I will increase the number of offerings I have, or I'll increase the number of products I have. And then you will expand and diversify. It works for conglomerates. It works for people who are already at a certain level, and then they are known, the brand is known by everybody, then they can do whatever they want and people will be happy. Same way with influencers, right? There is someone who has, let's say, 2 million, 3 million followers, then they can do whatever they want. But for a business to expand, it makes more sense for them to niche down further. The further niche they get, the more people will start appreciating them, the more people will start knowing. There's no confusion then. So then they will come to you just for your niche.
Bang on. Very nicely explained. And last question, what advice you would give to a person who has just started their career and being a part of entrepreneurship? So what advice would you give?
Someone who just recently wants to start
Yeah.
their entrepreneurship journey. Okay, the first advice is know what you're getting into. Okay, when I was jumping into entrepreneurship, if I had known all this, I might not have even jumped in. But so it took me a long time. It took me a couple of years, I think 3 or 4 years, to get the hang of it. I have failed, and I proudly say this, but I have failed multiple times. I didn't know the amount of effort it would take. I didn't know the amount of commitment it would take. I was very young when I started off, and it's very glorified. Being an entrepreneur is very glorified. People say, I don't want a boss, so I'm going to jump into entrepreneurship. Or they say, I want to have financial freedom, so I'm going to jump into entrepreneurship. What they don't realize is, at work, you have 8 hours of work, you get a fixed salary, and you're comfortable. The moment you jump into entrepreneurship, you have 18 hours of work, and you don't have a fixed salary, and you need to figure out where your next salary is coming from. So know what you're getting into. Make sure that you have the grit, and you will not give up no matter what, because once you fail, you just need to know that that's expected. You will fail. You will definitely fail. You just need to have that mindset that, okay, once I fail, I will get up and I will continue. And if you can do that, then yes, financial freedom will come, being your own boss will come, having your own timings will come. All of it will come eventually. But it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of right decisions at the right time. Sometimes it also takes being in the right place at the right time. So another thing that you need to start learning is saying yes to any opportunity that comes by.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Sirisha, and she is an excellent business coach. If you need any sort of help, you can really connect with her. Details would be posted in her in the description down in the channel. And thank you, Sirisha, for being a part of Dhan Ki Baat and adding a lot of value to today's session. And I find people who would be watching this podcast would certainly find a lot of value. I personally got a lot of value that I need to focus on technology. I need to focus on mindset. I have to catch so many things before, because a lot of doing and not generating productivity is very important. Working in the business, not working on the business is more important than working in the business. So thank you so much for what you are doing, and keep on inspiring people, and of course things would happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pawan, so much for having me on the show.